Today we're going to talk about solving quadratics by extracting square roots. It's another way to solve quadratics when you're looking for those x values that x is equal to. So, example 1 says 4x squared minus 1 equals 19, and the first thing you want to do is isolate your x squared term. So here I'm going to add 1 to both sides, divide by 4, so I get x squared equals 5, and from there you're going to take the square root of both sides, so I have x equals square root of 5, and simplify if possible. Don't forget though, every time you take the square root, you need this plus or minus. So my answer is x equals plus or minus the square root of 5. Can't simplify that, so it stays as is.
One of the other things that we want to note is that there is no middle term. So you can solve extracting the square roots whenever you don't have a b value, where it's just a plain old 2x or 3x or 5 or negative 6x, whatever it is, but there's no middle term. You just have the highest value of x squared and then a constant.
Here, example 2 gets a little bit more in detail. There's more going on than just your a squared term and your c squared term, but you can still extract square roots if it looks like this. So here we have 2 times x plus 3 squared plus 4 equals 44. And you're going to start by doing the same thing. You're going to isolate this x squared term. This time the x squared term is a whole thing. It's everything in parentheses. So you want to subtract 4 and then divide by 2. And you're going to get x plus 3 squared equals 20. And from here you want to take the square root of both sides. So as soon as you have this term that's raised to the second power or squared by itself, that's when you want to take the square root. So I have x plus 3 equals plus or minus the square root of 20. And this I can simplify. Radical 20 you can break up into radical 4 and radical 5. And the square root of 4 is 2, so I have x plus 3 equals plus or minus 2 radical 5. And then I want to get rid of this 3 after you take the square root. So I'm going to subtract it from both sides, and my final answer is going to be x equals negative 3 plus or minus 2 radical 5.
Notice that if you were to FOIL out the x plus 3 squared, and you would end up with a middle term. So if you have a middle term, you can no longer use extracting the square root. So make sure that you're not multiplying out that binomial and that you do just take the square root of each side.
And now here are 5 problems for you to try on your own.